Hey, piggies. Good morning, piggies. Good morning, little piggies. Did I scare you? Oh my goodness. Did I scare you? Where we burrowed deep in our straw. I think I scared the crap out of them. Hello, YouTube world. Pretend farmer here. Not a real farmer, just pretending. If you've got chickens, it doesn't seem like we're gathering as many eggs as we were just a few weeks ago, does it? Let's check and see how things are going back here. Nest boxes are empty. We've got one rogue chicken that's decided she's going to sit in the corner and drop an egg there. They've really been liking that shovel lately. I don't know why. I think it might have something to do with the broody hens that we've had. But definitely they're not using the nest boxes like they were. But that's okay because it's still easy to reach in and grab those eggs. I'd rather her put them there than under the porch or something where they were inaccessible. These ladies up here are just flat out protesting. They're like, you know what? We're not even coming down off the roost yet, so you can forget about those eggs. So yeah, normally our chickens lay the heaviest in the early morning hours right after sunrise. But as of now, we've just got one chicken laying. And to be honest, I've only been collecting about 3 or 4 eggs for the last couple days total. A few weeks ago, I was getting 9, 10 eggs. Back in the middle of summer, pushing close to 15 eggs a day. What's going on here? Well, we remember back to last year, there was the big chicken feed conspiracy where everybody thought that the government was tainting the chicken feed and taking all the ingredients out of it so that chickens wouldn't lay eggs. This kind of all coincided with the time of year we're in, so Pretend Farmer didn't really pay much attention to that. Here's what happens. For optimum egg-laying performance, a chicken needs 14 hours of daylight. Right now it's getting light around 6:30 or 7 in the morning. It's getting dark around 5 o'clock in the evening. So you do the math, that's about 10 hours of daylight. These chickens have throttled way back because of that. The couple eggs we're getting are probably first-year layers because chickens in their first year will lay the heaviest. But you go back to July when it's getting light at, say, 6 in the morning and staying light until 9 o'clock in the evening, well, that's over 14 hours of daylight. So that's why in the middle of summer you're getting bukus of eggs, and in the winter, as we get closer to the end of the year, those chickens drop off on their egg laying. Now what's going to happen is, I think December 21st this year is going to be the shortest day of the year. Each day after that, going forward, you're going to gain a minute of daylight each day. As we get into March or April and the days start getting longer and longer, it's going to trigger those chickens to start laying more and more again. Right now is kind of getting into what I like to call their winter break. Now, several other YouTubers have noted, and Pretend Farmer agrees wholeheartedly, that God made the chicken to have a little bit of a winter break, kind of like a vacation or a time off from laying eggs. And here on the Pretend Farm, you know that we are in full agreement with letting the chickens have that natural break, especially since we know that chickens are born with all the eggs in them already that they're going to lay throughout their whole life. We've never tried to do anything to expedite that process just because why burn your chickens out early? But maybe, for whatever reason, you just want to go ahead and do that, and then you say, well, I'll make stew out of the chickens when they stop laying eggs. Well, if you're one of these people that you just got to get all the eggs you can out of your chickens, and you're kind of stuck in this time of year we're in now where they're not really giving you the most eggs, you've probably read that you can add light to your coops and they'll go back to laying again. Now, Pretend Farmer doesn't necessarily have a problem with this. It might not be what I agree with or do here. There's nothing wrong with it. But there is a right and a wrong way to go about it, and Pretend Farmer wants to give you a couple of tips if this is something you plan on doing. Rule number 1 is you don't want the light to burn all the time. If you've got a coop that's lit up all night long, and especially if there's roosters in there, those chickens are not going to get a lot of sleep. If you think for 2 seconds that Colonel Sanders needs a light on at night, you better think again. I mean, just look at that. They're going to be stressed out, they're going to be tired, they're going to be overall poorer health because they're not getting a full good night's rest like they would if it was dark out. So you don't want to light the coop up all night long. I know a lot of people, they do that. They'll plug the light in the evening when they get home from work, unplug it in the morning, coop stays lit up all night, chickens lay eggs, but that's not ideal. What you want to do if you're going to light your coop is you want to put that light on a timer. You want the light to come on, say, around 3 o'clock in the morning, because right now we've already determined we've got about 10-ish hours of light in a day. Chickens need 14 hours of light for optimum egg laying. So you want to bring that light on around, say, 3 o'clock in the morning on your timer and have it go off around 7 when it's already light out. Now here's rule number 2. You say, well, why do we have to do that in the morning? Let's just extend their evening hours and leave that light on till, say, 9 or 10 o'clock. The light goes off and the chickens get a full night's rest and they wake up and start their day as normal. That's actually a very good thought, but it's not ideal, because if you bring that light on in the evening as it's getting dark out, you've got it on a 4-hour timer. When that light cuts off at 10 o'clock at night, you could have chickens down on the floor of your coop, scratching and pecking around. They might be in the boxes laying. They're kind of stuck. They're not going to be able to find their way back up onto the roost bar, and they're going to spend the night down on the cold floor of your chicken coop. Much better to do it in the morning, and that way your chickens can spend the night on the roost bar. You know, another really important thing for winter egg production is water. You know, a chicken, if they're not getting enough water, they're not going to eat, because that chicken needs water to help dissolve the food in their crop and help them digest it. Even in the wintertime, if a chicken goes for just a couple hours without water, it can impact the way they lay eggs. And they need all the help they can get this time of year. On a side note, no piggies were harmed in the making of this video. I know it looked like they were having a heart attack this morning, but Porky and Tater are perfectly fine. They're still hungry. They're always hungry, because they're piggies and they're fat. That's why. Until next time, this is the Pretend Farmer reminding you, pick those eggs before they freeze and bust. And have a happy Thanksgiving from the Pretend Farm.